G'day guys, welcome to the first training report. This will be season 5 of My Blue Heaven. Wow, season 5. I'm down here at Princes Park. I've been here for most of the morning since the players came out on the track. I'll just post a number of little snapshot videos throughout this little training report. What I will say is every one of these training sessions I come to, particularly under Michael Voss, and there hasn't been a lot of them, to be perfectly honest. It's just really workmanlike. It's almost like it is. It's their workplace. They've got a job to do. It's extremely well planned and thought out. Today there's been a lot of focus on getting into their particular lines, defence, forwards, and obviously mids. I'm really working on different aspects of those lines, whether it's transition, whether it's defence, whether it's working in really close and flicking the ball on the outside, and generally trying to execute their skills under pressure. But I wouldn't say you don't come away from these sessions thinking, wow, the enthusiasm, the vibe was unbelievable. It's just a real sense of, well, this is what these guys do for work. They come here pretty much every day. I'm not saying they're bored. I'm not saying that it's a chore for them, but it's their workplace. And I think they're really measured on what they're able to achieve in each session. And they go about it in a really workmanlike sort of way. So I will post just some random little snapshots of what's been done. He's in the rehab group, throughout this little training report. But it's great to be back. Speak soon.
Okay, so we've got Chera in the rehab group. He's been running laps constantly, not at full tilt either. Just look across, obviously Hewitt, who's recovering from back surgery, and Philp, who was consistently on the sidelines, has been in the rehab group for all of this session. Pitnet running by himself on the outer side at pretty low level. Cunningham done pretty much sweet fuck all, other than a little bit of ball skills. Walsh not even kitted up. Big one too as well, who was injured a lot of last year, is Josh Honey, as you can see, just running some laps by himself at the moment. Apart from that, everyone else is pretty much accounted for and doing pretty much all the drills. Okay, the other one I actually didn't mention, who's part of the rehab group, who hasn't done much training at all, is Callum Marchbank, who came out for a short period of time, flicked the ball around a little bit with his mates, had a bit of a laugh, and he's ducked behind those dark windows over there. So it's another one he's not accounted for, Callum Marchbank. Okay, now this is outrageous. Okay, so I'm trying to get a really good spot because these players are on the other side of the ground. Now what the club have done is they have nestled the fans all onto one side of the ground. Okay, just here. All right, once upon a time, all right, we used to be able to just wander around this great old ground, sit where we like. There's awesome space over here, but security are telling us, no, please do not go there. All right, so anyway. All right, I keep pulling them out, guys, but the other one, okay, I add another one to the rehab group is Matt Owies. I'm not quite sure if I mentioned it. Okay, they've just done some drills, these boys. Okay, now they're off on a lap. Let's see who's out the front here. Okay, I think we got Ed, as usual. That's young Binns. I'm quite sure who young number 29 is. Blake Akers. Sauce up the front. Making up the rear.
It's a really good drill, this one. So what we've got we've got two contesting forwards down one end. So in this instance, we've got Charlie up against Wiedering and Jack up against Sam Durden. All right, it's a kick down the line contest, and then the smalls getting front and square on transition, just trying to keep their width and shape. They've been doing this one for, a good 15, 20 minutes now. Up the other end, we've got Murkoff, must be short on defenders at the moment because we've got Murkoff on TDK and Young on Harry. And then we've got the likes of Akers, Carroll, Ed, Newman getting front and square. Sorry about the camera work. Just on a side note, on the far side there, I've been trying to work out who these sort of whippety looking youngsters are. There's two of them out there. There's one there on that outer side, and they're both wearing caps. How well is this going? There's another one down here in the pink, just down here. Now I'm pretty sure they are, there he is, just down there. I'm pretty sure they are they're the Camporelli twins, who must be training with the boys pre-Christmas. Now they're the sons of obviously former Carlton great, 1995 premiership winger, Scott Camporelli from Adelaide. So yeah, good to see those two boys training future father and son prospects. We got some stoppage work here. We've got TDK up against Murkoff in the ruck. The pinks are the defensive, the blues are the offensive, trying to win the ball in close and get it on the outside. It's actually quite good to see Murkoff and TDK going head to head in these rucking contests, given that Pittman at the moment's on the sidelines. Okay, we've got young Ollie Hollands out there at the moment with Cripper. Hollands is just down here, quite skinny obviously at this stage, but Ed's involved in this, so is Lockie O'Brien. So they're trying to win the ball in really close, fair bit of pressure from the pink group, and then to get that ball on the outside, and then go into forward transition. So they're doing some boundary throw-ins, okay, just changing the angles. Let's have a look at another stoppage here. Okay, Murkoff v TDK, Akers out to Fisher, then Ed's always this bloke on the outside. And I don't know if I want Ed actually delivering the ball inside 450, but there's just a bit of a snapshot on what they're trying to do with this stoppage work. Oh, this is the back line, just doing a little bit of work away. There's no real surprises here. You've got Wiedering, Plowman, Newman, Durden, Sard, Young, Boyd, McGovern, AQ, Williams. Interesting one, I suppose, not interesting, is young Cowan here. Just having a chat at the moment to the backline coach, which looks at the moment to be, I think, Brad Ebert is involved with this group. They're just trying to flick the ball on the outside and get a little bit of smooth transition going, keeping their width and keeping their space, ending up in the hands of Lewis Young. Been doing this for about 25 minutes now. This is what they do a lot as well. They do a drill for about 10-15 minutes. Then they send the lads off in their groups. This is the defensive group here, off for I wouldn't call it a sprint, but it's a decent click, say 400 metres. Okay, we just drift across to the other side of the ground. There's the mids, and the forwards have been working at the opposite end of the ground doing the same thing. I always like to have a look at who's leading, regardless of whether it's a race. I always like to see who's leading these groups. Don't know who the young kid in the pink is. I think he's a father-son prospect for the future. We've got, I think, young Bins at the front there, Fish, O'Brien's, Jack Silvani. There's big Lemmy, the new kid, and Blake Akers and young Ollie Hollands just making up the rear. I mean, there's not a lot of, we're not going to take a lot into that, but it's always just interesting to see what boys like to be at the front and what boys like to sort of just drift away at the back of the group. All right, they're just about to start some half-ground match sim here. Let's just roll the tape and have a little bit of a look at this. As I say, they're only using half the ground. They're trying to set up in different zones, green versus blue. We'll just let this unfold, see what they're trying to do. So obviously Sam Durden with the ball at the moment. Real patience. Gives it off to his fifth cousin in Corey. Looks like Weeders has hurt himself here, which is not good. Let's keep an eye on him for a second. You can actually see what went on with Jacob Weeder in there. Looks to be okay, to be perfectly honest. It's nothing too serious. We'll get back to this play unfolding. Real focus here on some long kicking to space and that real work rate. You know, great bit of work rate there from Tito K. He pushed right from the wing to find that space. It was a great kick really by Charlie too. I mean, that's something we really need to improve, that transition by foot and really executing those skills. I mean, it's okay to be doing this with not a lot of pressure, but I can see what they're trying to focus on. I've noticed today too, in a couple of the drills they've been doing, and we really want to try and exploit this. I mean, I know a lot of teams have been doing it, but exploiting this stand rule, okay, and really almost drawing the bloke on the mark. He can't move, but waiting to release the guy on the outside by hand. Just that first one. Now, whether it's Saab, whether it's going to be Boyd coming past by hand, geez, I tell you what, Ed Curno's been very, very heavily involved in this training session. He seems to be running on top of the ground. Now, I'm not saying he's penciled in to be playing senior football, but Jesus Christ, he's not going to go off lightly, Ed Curno. You know. He's very conspicuous. Is that the right word? Conspicuous? He's very, very prominent in this session. Carroll as well. A big year for young Jack Carroll. That's a poor kick. Okay, that is an area of his game that really needs to improve. I mean, that's a woeful kick. You know, particularly out of the back half, just a turnover to Mitch McGovern. I mean, that's unforgivable at any level, particularly at training where you're trying to improve these things. Gov kicking on his left foot. Let's keep this rolling. Weeders is back on, up against Murkoff there. I mean, I mentioned this before, given the injury to Pitnet, there's no guarantee that he's going to be back ready to go. There's a slight opening for Pitnet. I mean, how long do you need to develop? There's a slight opening. This will be interesting. Jack v Boyd. That's an excellent. Sorry, I missed that. That's an excellent spoil boy young. Well, he's not young anymore, Jordan Boyd. And it's really good to see him back. I mean, you talk about feet injury, and the impact that may have had from him after he sort of shown a lot in the few games he did play. To see him back pretty much at full tilt now is really pleasing. Really pleasing. I think they've got high hopes for Boyd as that rebounding defender. Okay, they're going to have a bit of a break now. Let's have a look at Jack having a shot though, before they break. They're going to have another crack at this. The groups have gone off and had a bit of a chat to the coaches, and now they're going to have another little bit of hit and giggle here. Newman with the ball. So this is our new recruit from Fremantle, Blake Acres. This, as I say, this importance of the wing to keep their shape and their width. Now this has been, that's the knock. That is the knock on Blake Acres. That getting in trouble and then high up and under turnover. That's not something that we see a lot of. Tell you what, Harry's moving well. Really well. That's a good. Now that's the. I suppose that's the plus there, right there. You saw that. That's the plus of Acres. He was up against Patrick Cripps there in that marking contest. It was a one-on-one. He's forced a spillage against one of the strongest teams, one of the strongest players in the competition, which has enabled, this green team, the blue team, to win the ball and transition it. I think that's going to be really, obviously his running ability is really important, but I think as a wingman, the strength, I think we just lack strong wingmen. Cottrell, O'Brien, and they're not strong. In fact, I did a rehab. That's a bloke I have not seen at all today, is Matthew Cottrell. At all. Not in the rehab group, not even training. So there's one that is completely missing. Okay, let's have a look at Murkoff. Let's have a look. Okay, he's by hand. There's Carroll with the ball. Yeah, fell short. Boyd on the left. Nice kick into Harry. Yeah. Gee, it's got to improve, doesn't it, that kicking of Jack Carroll. That's not going to cut the mustard at this level, I'm sorry. Well, I'll just take you over here off the play. See, just over here, there's the two Caparelli twins. Aren't they absolutely fantastic? Have a look at the two of them there. The two young boys, sons of a Carlton champ, just over there being invited down to train. They're absolutely loving it. They've got the caps on backwards. They're as skinny as rakes. Hopefully there's a future right there. The two Camparelli twins. Okay, let's get back to the action here. Nice by Jack. Nice by Jack. Did not panic. I mean, the work rate at Charlie, just to work his opponent over, Lewis Young. I mean, it's hard. It's hard when you're on transition like that and you've got space, but he just works his opponent over, and you would think given he's had 12 months under his belt back, that in itself, not so much the things he's able to do from a freakish point of view, because we know that, but just his engine now, is it back to what it was? Like he's, as a forward, I mean, who can go with that? Who can go with that? And I suppose this is an area of TDK's game that needs to, evolve as well. Is he essentially a forward ruck or a ruck forward? And what's that going to look like for us moving forward into 223? How do we, is it going to be Jack again? Bit of a fumble here by Boyd. Gov's looking, I mean, we talk about this, but you look at Gov's body shape. There he is there in the long sleeves compared to what he was when he first arrived at the football club. And he's had, obviously, a kick up his ass. But he is a completely different shape. There's your intercept defender right there. There's your Jeremy Howe body, okay? Don't need to be absolutely physically a beast, okay, but the ability to read the play, the ability to sometimes at a pinch go onto someone tall, but also be able to, and I saw him match up on Keziah Pickett and did a reasonable job against Melbourne in round 22 last year. But his body shape has completely changed, okay, over the course, and it had to. And he's travelling well, touch wood. And we talk about, and there's concerns about our injury list as the boys have another, I'll just keep going on this, as the boys have another rest, but we're talking about, we've got a big rehab group at the moment, but there's a positive there, the change of body shape, he's probably looking the fittest he's ever been, and there's a specific spot there for him, as that fucking intercept defender. Yeah, I mean, he's looking $1 million at the moment, Mitch McGovern. Oh, there's Zach Williams just talking to, looks like some medicos. Now, they're not blisters. He did have a smile on his face, and he hasn't been involved with all the drills. He's been off, but he's pointing at something. So let's just take a look at Zach and see what he does. Let's see how lame he is. Am I imagining things as he sort of wanders off? I might go inside, boys. I think I've had enough. Anyway, something to keep an eye on. We're heading into the Christmas break. Okay, I'll just keep an eye on Zachy. No, he's going back off. Back to the group. Actually, I lie. He's actually going into the rooms. Yeah, we'll see what transpires with Zach Williams.
just got Gov here by himself, just doing some, they look like around about sort of 70 metre sort of strides and sprints. Let's have a look at him go. I was mentioning him before in regards to just his body shape and the way it's changed over the last 4 or 5 years.